You only cry when you see the coffin of yourself in front of you. But that is very true in the legal world. Many of them are actually not realistic because of legal constraints.
Right now, I'm here with the man, the myth, the legal legend. This is Tony Gwynn here with me, and of course, I'm Mars of the Launchman. So, how are you doing today, Tony? Are you doing okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Hi, everyone. It's Tony.
This is episode 5 of the series, and we're going to talk about virtual networking and social syndication. A business with no sign is a sign of no business, is an old saying, right? Like if you have a brick and mortar business and you don't have a sign on your building, that means you don't got any business for the most part, right? So think of it like that. Social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, I mean, just go on and on with the various platforms, whatever ones you choose to use, are like the sign for your business. I can't think of a thing that's more important when it comes to that and getting exposure and getting more business than LinkedIn. Okay, so this is about all of the channels and how we approach them. But today what we're going to do is give you some really good ways to think about how to leverage all the social channels, but especially LinkedIn. And the reason why I say that LinkedIn is so important is because when it comes to attorneys, it's a little different than other service businesses, right? People only know that they need a lawyer after they have a problem. Talk to me about what you see as the idea that people only know they need lawyers after they have a problem.
As you rightly said, in Vietnam in particular, we have a saying that if you don't see the coffin, you don't drop your crying. You only cry when you see the coffin of yourself in front of you. But that is very true in the legal world. So many business opportunities, and many of them are actually not realistic because of legal constraints. But you don't see that until you have your lawyer telling you that no, you are not allowed by law to do this. As a matter of fact, many enterprises, when they enter into transactions, they deal with all the different type of risks, including legal risk, without having a proper advice on the legal aspect. At the end, when things turn sour, problems come, then they go to the lawyers and ask for help. That is usually quite late and very costly at that time to fix a problem.
What's your approach when you're thinking about connecting with people, even if they don't need your help right now, but so that they'll refer you in the future or think of you in the future?
Most of the international lawyers are doing the same thing nowadays. They don't just exchange cards. They actually find each other and try to connect on LinkedIn. The difference between email and LinkedIn is that you can have instant contact with somebody with a very brief, I need something, or I need someone to advise me on employment law. In Vietnam, do you know someone who can help? Then I will text him back and say, oh yeah, we have a team who work on employment. We can help you. Send me more details. This is my email address. So at that point, you can establish a very quick, active, responsive communication to start with doing any work. And that is very effective.
So most of the time when you're talking to people in a real event or on LinkedIn, your approach is, let me talk to them and just get ahead of it so that by the time they do need my services.
The key in the networking internationally is where you show up as top list in the pop-up in the mind of the people who you met. So it's not only actual meeting between us in the events or networking situations, but also on LinkedIn, where he keeps seeing my sharings about different legal topics or subjects. So he will think of me before he think of somebody else.
So the partners at EP Legal are pretty profound as far as it goes on LinkedIn, because for instance, you've got I don't know, over 5,000 connections and about 4,500 followers. So you're a pretty pronounced person on LinkedIn when it comes to what you do, right? And then all the partners are. When you really think about how social media works, it is in the interest of every social media platform, in this case LinkedIn or YouTube or TikTok. The idea is they're trying to keep you on their platform. You need to be putting out at least written content, at least pretty much every day of the week. And it can be some short blurb, just copy and paste some snippets from some article that you just read, take it into ChatGPT and rewrite it so you're not copyright infringement, but literally spend maybe 10 minutes just getting the latest, whatever your industry is, and put it up on the LinkedIn. This is really important. The more people who stop on it and then also click on read more. It's actually the reason why that read more button is there is because LinkedIn wants to know for a fact that somebody's actually looking at that, right? Before they start scrolling away from it. This is something I really want to talk about is video, and Tony, one of the things that we're really doing a lot of lately is this AI video. This is literally not him at all. This is an AI generated version of him.
Why do I say the metaverse is giving lawyers a run for their money? Experts recently gathered at the Metaverse Dispute Resolution Colloquium. They tackled big topics like applicable law and courts in metaverse disputes and enforcement challenges.
The point of it is, this really isn't Tony. It's not Tony. This type of video, whether you make it yourself or whether you use these AI videos like we're using, is really, really key because, at the end of the day, you have to think about it like this, okay? You have to think about it like, how often can I get in front of an audience of people who might want to hire me? So if we talk through the sort of like 5 elements of LinkedIn strategy, first of all, there's robust profile development. So you can see when we go look at the profiles on LinkedIn are really well developed, meaning it's all filled in really, really well, okay? And you can really understand that when you look at the LinkedIn profile for each of them, that their CV is dialed in, what they do is dialed in, and they're really, really, each of the partners is really, we're putting out content for them every single day. And then the content creation comes with doing current stuff, okay, analysis, and ultimately promoting events and workshops and things like that. Like Tony, you just recently did a workshop. What was the topic? It was something about web standards, right?
I did a GDPR event recently in Ho Chi Minh City. It was well attended, and I actually connected to many people after that. And also on LinkedIn, we shared the information of the workshop. Actually, workshops and events are the perfect example of how you utilize LinkedIn. Because when you show up on LinkedIn, people who did not attend, who did not have time or opportunity to attend the events, they still can connect to us.
So that really anchors to the idea of element number 3, which is the engagement strategy. So what you really got to think about is what's going to make somebody engage with your content. Because first of all, you put the content up, you drop it onto LinkedIn. So right here, okay, if we actually look at this, you can see, you might say, oh, wow, he only got 32 likes. I don't think you really realize how valuable those 32 likes are. That means probably 300 people stopped and read this, actually read it. But 32 of them took the time to actually click on it and engage with it. So now you wonder why Tony stays successful as an attorney when a lot of law firms are failing. In other words, you want people that are actually going to click on whatever you put up. And it's got to be attractive and it's got to look good, but it's got to be stuff that's relevant to them. And then on top of that, if you want to show up in front of the greatest number of people possible so you can generate the engagement, then in a very specific manner, we tag all of the content with stuff related, with tags directly related to things people might be searching for. And that also, when you tag your content, people have gone and searched for that stuff before, so that increases the odds of your content ending up in front of them. So that the hashtag strategy is really, really important. And then lastly is the performance template. An actual post from Quinn Ann. This is Tony's partner. And she got, I think that one got like 5 likes, but it was seen by 2,642 people. They at least scrolled through their feed and saw her face. You might think, well, if they didn't look, no, it's like billboards, right? Every day you're driving from your office to your home on the way back home from work, and there's billboards going by your head, and there's signs for businesses. The way that the human brain works, it's so important to really understand that it comes down to volume.
I think it's not only important that you appear on LinkedIn in front of your potential clients and partners. It's more important that people know what exactly you are doing and what you can perform. So in the past, we have been an oil and gas law firm for many, many years. And as a matter of fact, all the 3 partners of EP Legal are from the oil and gas industry with plenty decades of experience. So I don't want to be seen as an oil and gas transaction lawyer anymore. And that's why if you look into my LinkedIn analysis, you'll see that the traffic that I attracted is very different from what Annie has been attracting. So it's no longer oil and gas. People just look into my LinkedIn, also many arbitration practitioners. So they see me as an arbitration guy. It's important that you have personal contacts with people who are interested in your service and who want to collaborate or work with you or engage in your service. So from time to time, when you receive like interest, likes or whatever from your contacts, it is important that you interact with them in one way or another, maybe in messages.
Anybody who thinks that social media is the end all be all, it's not. It's the starting point. Okay. What it is a constant sign, like a sign on your business, basically. I always think of it more like billboards. And the reason why my team's been good at it over the years is because I started in advertising. My first thing was really outdoor media. So the banners that you see on taxi cabs and things like that, and on the side of buses and billboards and things like that, that was actually my specialty area. And back then, people weren't clicking on those things. So you really couldn't tell how much engagement it was getting. The average roads that they take, I'll place my billboards, I'll place my outdoor advertising signs, and then I'll make sure that over the course of time, they're just seeing me over and over. No one single one of those media pieces is going to get them to take an action. It's the final one that does, or the problem that they have, and they go, who's that lawyer? Oh, yeah, Tony Wynn, EP Legal, right? It's a lot like that. But that's just the starting point. What Tony's saying here is you have to go beyond relying on just getting exposure on these social media platforms by posting regularly, and actually see who's engaging with your content. They liked your content. Message them, send them a message. So sharing content that covers legal updates, analysis, and insights, that's really, really key. 1 to 2 minute videos like the AI video that we just showed you with current legal updates or ongoing like general tips, insights, really, really key. And then of course, upcoming events and workshops and things like that. You want to be posting that stuff to your LinkedIn. Now, these other platforms, I'm going to just touch on them real quick because they do matter. But we repurpose all the content that we produce here for EP Legal. Mostly we use LinkedIn because it's a service business. But we also, for the general stuff, like short legal updates and tips, and then the weekly training sessions and legal webinars and stuff like that. Those go onto the YouTube channel, right? Lately, we've been strategizing about moving into TikTok. TikTok isn't someplace that we've dominated yet, but you definitely want to be putting short educational videos and content up there. Trends, misconceptions and myth busting, etc. And then, main thing to understand is EP Legal is across all corners on social media, all over the place. So let's just talk about the future plans for networking and syndication strategies. A well-constructed content calendar, which we just went over, the team just went over that today. And then an intriguing content series like this one that you're watching right now, right? And then using that to improve your engagement and make sure you have video content that fits in there. And then of course, in service industry, it's almost always going to be either events like, hey, I'm at this event, this is great, here's who I'm talking to, or it's going to be educational content. If you're watching this video, make sure thank you first of all for watching, and then make sure that you follow, subscribe, all the stuff that we're supposed to ask you to do here, because in that way you'll get updates.
I have tried to improve my LinkedIn performance, and I think that every lawyer in Vietnam should do so. The clients will know what we are doing, the partners know what we are doing, and they will contact us and will think of us when they have their own problems. So that's the true nature of marketing.
So thank you for watching, and again, make sure you follow, like, subscribe, etc. And Tony, I'll see you in the next episode, man.